baby.
Fins up, baby. Fins up.
I swear, if a certain quarterback is mentioned in the comments, got my beers ready. I'm gonna crack it open.
Or is it the Serbian kid?
Serbian kid, This looks done. Oh my god, it looks fantastic.
I'm the man. I said it, and it's reality. All right.
Congratulations.
It's showtime. Welcome to a breaking news edition of the Fins Talk Sports Network Dolphins Update. I'm Bobby Finstock. That's Evan Posner. Welcome. We got some breaking news. The Miami Dolphins have hired the defensive coordinator. They have got the big kahuna, Vic Fangio.
That's amazing.
Breaking right now. That's why I wasn't prepared. I was actually about to leave the house. I did miss Fins earlier. If you guys haven't, go like and subscribe to her channel. Awesome. I know she got something going on there. I was about to leave the house, got to go do something. And all of a sudden, I get the message. I get the alert. Breaking news. We got Fangio. And of course, I had to do a show. And of course, who calls me 2 seconds after I was about to start? Evan goes, are we doing it? It's confirmed, Adam. We got Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
I think 3 years, 4-year option.
Yeah,
I don't have all
highest paid. We haven't announced the salary yet, but highest paid defensive coordinator in the league.
Oh my goodness! So John's in the house. Adam, Steve, Malloy of Real Talk, Fins Talk. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. Let's go. Let's
It's
talk.
phenomenal.
Evan,
Yeah,
we got Vic Fangio.
finally.
I know we still got some pieces to go. You know,
Of
we
course.
got to wait a whole offseason. But is this a good start?
This is a phenomenal start. Last year, we all talked about how we wanted a veteran head coach. We all talked about how I said at the end of the year, McDaniel, kudos to him. I have major props to him. He needed someone in his ear who could give him the pointers, an experienced veteran who knows how to run a football team, who's been a head coach, even though he wasn't necessarily successful. The defense win championship. You go get a defensive hard nose. This is exactly what Sean McVay did when he took Wade Phillips with the Rams. This is exactly what you need to really boost this defense. This defense had injuries, but at the same time, the core of this defense is so strong and has the opportunity to be a top 3 defense in this league. You went to get a guy who's been around since the 1980s, had the opportunity to potentially stick around in Philadelphia, and on Championship Sunday, we had to steal the coup. We had to steal the spotlight. Right now, leading into this game at 3:00, the Eagles, who potentially could lose their defensive coordinator, though doesn't have the guy they were potentially looking for. Vic Fangio is going to solidify this defense and is going to make people – it's also going to solidify Mike McDaniel because Mike McDaniel wanted him last year. He could have had the opportunity to have him. He wasn't given that opportunity, but now he's given that opportunity, and he had more competition. And I don't know what Chris Greer must have said. Kudos to Chris Greer. Kudos to Stephen Ross. We always give Stephen Ross a hard time for not being the best owner, but we never question his ability to spend money. And when with the opportunity to go get the best players, and you want to know what? Coaching helps also win championships. And we all know why our defense was struggling this year with the blitz, and it just didn't fit the skill set of our team. This is phenomenal for players like Javon Holland. For our linebacking core, this guy's going to go out during the draft. This is perfect because you want to know what? Now they can really prepare for the draft and go fill the needs and go into free agency in March and fill the needs they need with a phenomenal defensive coordinator. I could not be happier for Mike McDaniel, the Miami Dolphins, and all the Dolphins fans. We went to get the guy we wanted, and we got him.
It's awesome. And, you know, like the reason why I made my picks today of who was going to win today's games, I went Bengals over Chiefs. And I picked 49ers over Philly. And
Me too.
Not that I don't.
Brothers. We're brothers here, buddy.
Right on, man, my man. But you know what? And it's not because I don't think Philly could do it. I think Philly's a very talented team. Jalen Hurts is off the charts, all that whatnot. But defense wins championships. And the number 1 defense in the NFL is San Francisco. Let's talk about that. Miami, I believe, I don't know where they finished off. Evan, if you could try to find that for me while you're in front. Where their defense finished this season.
Who? San Francisco?
Miami.
Miami was, I think, 16th or around there. It was in the teens. It was in
So
the teens.
last year, the last time Fangio
was in the
coached
teens.
defense, he was the head coach of the Denver Broncos. They were the 8th ranked defense in the NFL.
He's always had a great defense.
Yes. In 2018, when he coached the Chicago Bears, they were the 3rd ranked defense. 2017, the 10th, the 12th in 2017, and the 15th in 2016. One of the best defensive minds in the game, veteran, former head coach, a veteran defensive coordinator, a mastermind, some would say, and the Dolphins get him. Adam says, should we expect our linebackers to pop off now? You're damn right. I think it becomes a priority. Again, I'd prefer free agency to address the linebacking core. There are some very decent linebackers. We're going to talk about that as we go on closer throughout the offseason. But I think it becomes a huge necessity now that we got Vic Fangio. And the Dolphins had a top 10 offense. I think they finished the year despite some flaws with the running game. So imagine a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense next year for Miami if all works out with personnel. Evan.
Just FYI, when he left Chicago and left the reins to Sean Desai, they also had a top 3 defense. He left a phenomenal defense in Chicago. The structure and what he's done there is phenomenal. It's a structure. I wouldn't be surprised if he had the opportunity during the interview process to meet some of these stars, to know who they are, to know that you're getting a Christian Wilkins, a Zach Sealer. You don't think they're running back. You don't think they're going to sign very soon. As soon as they can sign these players, they're going to sign them. To know you have X, and to know that you have Javon Holland, to know you have a Jalen Phillips. Also, you want to know what? Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb is a Vic Fangio pick. That's you don't realize. You want Bradley Chubb next year is going to be otherworldly with Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator. And you want to know what? And this Mike McDaniel won't have to worry about the defense. He didn't really worry about it much this year, but he won't have to worry about it. You're getting a veteran person who wants to finish his career and really be with the Miami Dolphins. He truly believes this gives him the best shot to win a Super Bowl. He could have gone he had so many other opportunities. He picked the Miami Dolphins.
And think about that too. I mean, if you look at the offensive side of the football and their staff, a lot of people were impressed with the Dolphins staff in regards to Darrell Bevel, Frank Smith, Mike McDaniel. Then you look at the defensive side of the ball and look at the staff and you go, it's pretty much similar besides the secondary with Pat Surtain and Sam Madison that what Brian Flores had. So it wasn't really much of a change. But now, here we go. Same offensive staff, more than likely, go into next year. Now you have a new defensive staff that's coming with Vic Fangio at the head. Holy crap. Steve, thank you. Ranked 18th defense last year.
Yeah.
I think
I told you. I said it was in the mid to late teens. I listened to Steve.
Yeah. So what's up, Troy? Hello from Louisville, Kentucky. Fangio is an excellent talent evaluator for draft. Also fins up. Yeah. Absolutely. This is exciting because I love the defensive side of the ball, the trenches, but especially defense. And I think we got to get ourselves a hard hitting defense with this guy at the helm. Major improvements, I think, are coming. And Dolphin fans should be definitely excited. I've been saying, Miami's very big with splashes, but it comes with players. During the offseason, Dolphins and free agency love to make splashes. And I'm like, make more splashes in regards to the draft, be a lot smarter and conservative when it comes to free agency. But this is a type of splash I could roll with right here. Yeah. Bringing in somebody like Vic Fangio to run your defense when you saw how your offense could do. Defense saves games and they win championships. You just helped yourself become a little bit more of a contender next season, in my opinion. I'm not trying to overhype. I'm just stating the obvious. I mean, what it is.
It's a sense of comfort, right? The number one thing, our biggest concern, we all heading into this season, we kept on referring to a rookie head coach, and the rookie head coach did not have a veteran, experienced person on his staff who has led a team or led something on the side of the ball, on any side of the ball. He was dealing with coordinators or people who've never really been head coaches, maybe an interim head coach in Darrell Bevel, but he didn't have someone who's had so much experience in this league. To get that knowledge, which is otherworldly, is going to be so phenomenal. People had a concern with Vic Fangio that maybe he didn't get along with his players. That's Mike McDaniel to worry about. Vic Fangio is going to focus on scheme. He's going to focus on development of these young players. The rah aspect, that's Mike McDaniel's job. That's what the head coach's job is. He's going to go there. And like I said, for me, I wanted a Wade. If we couldn't get him, I wanted a Wade Phillips type. I wanted a veteran defensive coordinator to guide these people. A Christian Wilkins, who already is hitting a level. Zach Sealer, Javon Holland, because I know the scheme that Vic Fangio likes to play with the two safeties. Brandon Jones, like they're going to have such an amazing time next year. Like this is such a confidence booster that they know they went to go get their defense. Like kudos to this team. Like I'm very proud of the coaching staff, of Mike McDaniel, of Chris Greer, Marvin Allen, Rich McKenzie, and Stephen Ross. Like they went to go get this was a bigger play than any head coach. If you think about it, people are talking about D'Amico Ryans, and they're talking about Jonathan Gannon, and they're talking about Sean Payton. The biggest story all week was the person who had the most interviews, the person who was seeing the most attraction was Vic Fangio, and we got him. And we got him in a place where we desperately needed it. It's not like we had to settle. We got the guy we wanted.
And that's right. That's the main thing. And I don't think the two other guys that were there.
He might get Sean Desai. Sean Desai may want to come work with him.
Chris Richards, both very good defensive minds and defensive coordinators. But the main kahuna, the main event was Vic Fangio, and the Dolphins land him. So let me just remind everybody who is tuning in, thank you. You're watching the Dolphins Update on Fins Talk Sports Network. Breaking news edition. Dolphins have hired Vic Fangio, 3-year deal, 4th-year option. One of the maybe the most expensive contract for a D coordinator. So if I put the link in the comments, so if you want to go ahead and click on that and share your reaction, do it. This is Evan and Bobby Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. So man, it's just, this is crazy. This is awesome. I thought it would probably been yesterday, but with everything going on, like you said, Philadelphia had big connections with Vic Fangio. It was the rumor that if Jonathan Gannon, their defensive coordinator, goes to Houston or Denver, that Fangio would go to Philly. But the Dolphins probably laid out a deal that was too good to refuse, and and Fangio said, you know what? I like McDaniel. I like this money. I like this deal. I like the pieces that are there. I could work with that. So,
and it's Miami. Also, think about it. And not to sound the thing. Just to give you a personal level, his family in Scranton, but also, who doesn't want to live in Miami? Zero income, state income tax. His mom is there. He's in his 60s. He wants to retire. He wants to. You never know. Like in a couple of years, like who wouldn't want to go? It's an attractive job. Like even if he's on the defensive side of the ball, look, he knows what his offense can do. So just imagine with the pieces he has on defense, right? Like
absolutely. Half
the pieces on his defense didn't even play this year. He really took the time. He made the right decision. It's the right thing for him. We're all going to feel the sense of, for me, I'm no longer going to be shaking in my boots when it's 3rd and 18. You really think that this coach is ever going to allow this team to give up big plays on 3rd down? Not happening. This coach, not happening. Not happening, not happening, not happening. He is, even when he struggled as a head coach in Denver. Some people are not made to be head coaches. Lovie Smith, he had an okay time in Chicago, but he made it to the Super Bowl, but that defense was because he had an otherworldly defense. It wasn't the offense. But then Vic Fangio, the Wade Phillips of the world, there are certain players, there are certain coaches who are not necessarily head coaches because they don't understand. It's just not the right fit for them. But as coordinators, being defensive head coaches is the right thing. And for him, he's going to bring such confidence to this team. Like, right now we can just really focus on building this team. Like now the expectations out of this team have just skyrocketed again.
And listen, that's
the thing
point.
Is that coach, like for us, the expectations are, because now we got the coordinator we wanted, who is like the big prize of the offseason, more than a player even.
So far, yep.
It's huge. It's huge.
And I will say though, not taking anything away from Mike McDaniel, but now the Dolphins have basically a second head coach on staff.
Yeah.
This guy is going to command, first off, he's being paid a lot of money.
Oof.
He's being given a big contract with a 4th-year option. He commands respect around the league, and he will command respect amongst that locker room. The Dolphins have another head coach on that staff right now. What's up, El Capitan in the house, guys, from the Fins Tailgate channel. We appreciate you, brother. It was good talking to you today. Guys, go to his channel, smash that like and subscribe. Great content. Appreciate him tuning in. Try to tell everyone, Bobby. Yes, sir. That's right. And he had it. He said, hey, they were working on a deal. He did tweet that. People coming at him because it took a little long, but look at it now. But I will say that this is huge. And now you have another head coach on the staff who's not only command the respect of the defense, but the whole damn football team.
Oof.
The whole football team. That dude will, and what he could do not only for the football team but for the other coaches on staff, for Mike McDaniel, it's gonna be. It's gonna. I believe, and it goes back to when we had the vacant job for head coach. I wanted a veteran head coach.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? This kind of makes up for that.
Yeah.
This kind of makes up for that.
I told you, I said this. I said this in the season, I'm willing to give Mike McDaniel a mulligan because I was hard on him. The kind of mistakes he made this season, Vic Fangio will never let him make those mistakes. It's because he's there to also guide him. They're going to help each other. It's a phenomenal combination. Like I said, when the Rams were great, the development of Sean McVay in LA, he had Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips, when he was in Denver, like John Fox, like Wade Phillips has been there as a guy, as a mentee, as a mentor for so many head coaches wherever he stopped as a veteran defensive coordinator. And look at what he did. Veteran defensive coordinators in this league are more important than veteran head coaches, veteran offensive players. Because, like you said, defenses win championships. Having those people, I look back. I have a buddy who's a huge Bucks fan. I'm not trying to compare it, but back in the day when when that team was phenomenal with Tony Dungy and then they won the Super Bowl, the people remember. And then what's his name? John Gruden. You know who their defensive coordinator was? Monty Kiffin. Monty Kiffin looked like he was 80 years old on the sideline, but they had a defensive guy who was a veteran who developed the Derek Brooks, the Rondé Barbers, the John Lynches, the Warren Sapps of the world. Now think about it: Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Kristen Wilkins, like Kader Kohu, Brandon Jones. Who would like the only area they truly need to solidify is the linebacking core. Truly, that's the real area of contention. And this kind of defender who wants to run a 4-3, I'm not worried at all. This guy is going to. So this defense is going to be a top 5 defense. I don't even have the question next year. It's going to be scary.
Well, let me just say first off, I see Rob in the comments. Dolphins thirsty.
Guys, body. Wow.
Guys, if you're thirsty for Dolphins content, as I say, go to dolphinsthirsty.com. Awesome content, awesome stuff he presents every day on that website.
Click on the link, guys. Come share what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, I clicked the link there. If you guys want to just voice your opinion. What's up, Ben? Always Evan Pasta #1. I know who that is.
He loves me, that guy.
Yeah, I know it.
I pay him a lot of money.
Yeah, he has to say all that. I get it. No, it's all good. But hey, guys, again, I put the link in the comments. Breaking news: Dolphins hire Vic Fangio, 3-year deal. Awesome news.
How do you feel, Bobby? Bobby, like, how do you truly feel this changes the mindset? How do you think this changes the mindset of the players? How do you think this change? Like we're all looking at this and we're phenomenal. How do you think the players on both sides of the ball, who were probably a little disappointed on how the season ended, hoping they could do more, how do you think this kind of hire affects the players? Like, what's the mindset of a Christian Wilkins or an X or a Javon Holland in this moment as they're finding out this? Like, are they excited? How do you think they feel right now?
Yeah, I got to think that, hey, look, our team, our coach, and Mike McDaniel believes in us as much as he believes in this offense, that he goes out and brings in a mastermind like Vic Fangio. What could Vic Fangio do for the careers of someone like a Christian Wilkins or a Javon Holland or Xavier Howard, who had a down year? What's up, Brett Legassi, Patrick Drum, for coming in, tuning in. Brett says, great hire defensively. Now let's fix those linebackers. No more soft linebackers.
When Brett Legassi gives a stamp of approval, hey, are you going to give Chris Greer's flowers today, or Stephen Ross's flowers today?
Just
for today.
Up.
Just for today.
Stop it.
Just for
Stop
today.
It. Stop it. Do not ruin the vibe, damn it. Do not ruin this vibe. Do not bring that. Don't do it. This was Mike McDaniel. This was Mike D. who did it.
Check your pulse now, eh? Check your pulse.
Yeah, check your pulse. No, you asked a great question, and to me, I think our defensive players, especially the ones that want to win, and I'm not saying anybody doesn't want to win, but the guys that are like, no, man, we need to be taken seriously. We've seen all the hype our offense has gotten. We've seen a lot of, even when the defense didn't cost us games, the defense was getting a lot of hate from fans. Fire Boyer, fire this, defense that, where the offense was struggling. I have to say, now it goes, hey, look, the Dolphins just went out and put their money where their mouth is, got Vic Fangio. this shows what they think of this defense and what this defense has the potential to have, to say, hey, look, we got a lot of good, I mean, Bradley Chubb, Christian Wilkins, Xavier Howard, gosh almighty, Sealer, Agba, Jerome Baker's on there. We need more linebackers, but this has a defense with some talent on there that if you could add a couple more pieces, and I say rather free agency through draft, but there are some pieces via the draft. We'll get over that in the draft shows, but this defense could make some noise next year with this guy leading the way. They have shown flashes already. They won us games last year. Yeah. Before that, when they were with Flores, they shown flashes to being a top 10 type of defense before Flores was fired. So they have the potential. But now you got some extra spice on that with what we've added this year. Now you add Fangio, who only has to focus on defense and not running a football team.
And I just thought of an interesting point. I just want to think of an interesting point. The last two times, places he's been.
Jalen Phillips, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Where were the last two places he's been? Denver, where he's had top defenses, and Chicago. Yep. I'm not worried about our defense playing in cold weather ever again. Like, this is the development of a guy who knows how to play within the elements. And you want to know what? A lot of people said, like, I think at the times when Vic was the coach, and I think the Dolphins played him, we didn't have a great time against his defense. His defense is just there's a sense of Mike McDaniel now is not going to be looked on as a rookie head coach who people are going to be talking about him that he has the aura and the sense of belief that what he's doing is going to work because he has the credibility, right? To add a guy like him creates credibility to your coaching staff, right? People are just going to say, "Oh, this is a rookie head coach with rookie." Like, for example, the one knock on what was the biggest knock on Brian Flores? He could not hire a great staff. The one thing we wanted Mike McDaniel to do is be able to surround himself with a great staff. Now, he probably had the opportunity to get Fangio last year. There was told because the defense ended so well, and we all talked about that. But now that he still got his guy, when literally everyone was talking about how there was 4 or 5 other jobs out there that he was interviewing for, is just like, that's a coup. There's something he likes about Mike McDaniel, and it doesn't hurt that they share the same agent, that they know each other, but the fact that they probably sat there and just had a great rapport, like probably a father-son relationship there, that they can learn off each other, is phenomenal. Because you want to know what? A lot of veteran coaches, a lot of hard-nosed coaches don't really want to deal with the new school. But you want to know what? They're going to learn from each other, and they're going to balance each other out. It's going to be great.
Hey, John, I see you. I see your comments. Everybody, thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you. Patrick Drum, fins up, brother. Brett Legassi, this has nothing to do with Greer.
Ross, I did on purpose.
Checkbook. In fact, Ross opened the checkbook because of Greer.
I'm saying on purpose. I did it on purpose. He's not used to me yet.
I know.
By the way, Brett, I hope you know, Brett. I love you, man. You're the reason.
He knows. I informed him. He is aware. Poke says, "Let's go. We hired him." Yes, sir. Yes, we got Vic Fangio. John says, "Take a right tackle with the 2nd round pick, linebacker and corner with the 3rd round picks." Even though we're talking defense, we're talking Vic Fangio, the breaking news that we've hired him through a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option. I will respond, John, to say, and I know you've been tuning into the shows, but you know how I feel, brother. I say you go, for me, it's either tight end with that pick. I'd rather go offensive line free agency. Offensive line linebackers in free agency, tight end, defensive back, and running back via the draft. That's my preference at this point in time.
Not to plagiarize someone, I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
How excited are you? Because I know Fangio, from what the defenses I've read about, he focuses more on zone. Do you feel that the current defense works better on a zone defense than a man? The way and the blitzing, for example, like Brad had said on Twitter, like how does X fit into, like, how do you feel? Like, I feel like that this is going to help out like the Javon Holland, like the safeties are really going to benefit from this.
Well, I don't think you got to worry. Yeah, no, the safeties are definitely going to benefit.
They're going to love this. Like Javon Holland and Brandon Jones are going to go.
Vic Fangio does great work with safeties. I expect Javon Holland to have a career next year. Brandon Jones coming back from injury. I'm excited about seeing what he can do. I think this takes a lot of pressure off Xavier Howard. I think, what happened to him last year, just whether it's injuries or just maybe the plays or whatever. Yeah, yes,
he's
sir.
Trying to look like me.
I don't go by Bobby Finstock anymore. I go by Rico Suave. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll just say that I think this is going to help Xavier Howard. I think because you were stuck with him either way. You couldn't trade him. You couldn't cut him. It was going to impact
There was no
you.
benefit.
There was no way.
There was
There's
too
no
much
way to do that.
restructuring in his
But
contract.
now I don't think fans have to worry. I think Xavier Howard could end up having a career year next year with Fangio back there because it takes a lot of pressure off of him. Guidelines. No, I'm just kidding. Does X fit the zone coverage? This hire gives me a Bradley Chubb. That's all the way I'll say it. Yeah, I think he does, right? I mean, Brett, you could probably answer that better than me, man. You're asking. I think he could do. I think he'll do well in this system.
The biggest loss I find more than Byron Jones this year. The biggest loss for
Brandon Jones.
For Byron Jones also. The biggest loss of not having Byron Jones more than Byron Jones this year was Nick Needham. Nick Needham, who's more of a slant corner. That's because if he was there all year, the difficulty that X had all year had to do with it wasn't running with the player. It was more the slant. It was more the slants. It was more coming across. So that's not where his skill set is. He's a ball hawk. You can't really intercept the ball when you're coming across. It's more going down with the receiver. But no, honestly, we're all going to get. We have not had the opportunity to get a lesson on how a great defense runs itself. Flores was young and he was a little different, and he came from the Bill Belichick mindset where he really. Now we're getting a true veteran. Like someone put in the comments, like the other teams' defenses. I'm not like we're going to be able to go up against a New England defense, a Buffalo defense. Like right now with Vic Fangio, right now we have the top defensive mind probably in football. Like the guy is just been everywhere and has been successful wherever he's gone as a coordinator, and that's what we want, and that's what this team needs. It's just a sense of confidence. Like this is our. I obviously rather be in the Super Bowl, but who knows if this was our coordinator at the beginning of the year? Who knows where we'd be, right? Because it's just that level of confidence. It's that level of structure. Like you're not going to have broken out. You're not going to have any breakdowns in communication on the defense side of the ball with Vic Fangio as your coordinator. I can promise you that.
I'm looking at my phone, see if there's
any updates. Boy, he's choosing I cannot believe a Dolphins fan is choosing the football game over us. You know you can do two things at the same time. You can multitask, eh?
Oh, it's Rob?
Game on Thursday.
Wow, Rob. No, I'm just kidding. Nah.
I've already put his name at the Canadian border. He ain't coming across.
That's all good. And Josh Wingate in the house. Beer and Sports. He makes his return tomorrow on Monday night or Tuesday. I just see the text, Josh. I will respond as soon as I'm done here to see what's going on for Tuesday night. I think Huddle Up and Wait might be coming on there too, but I'm waiting on Brett Legassi's response. I think they're trying to work out when they could actually air. Write an article at the same time for my site. His site, DolphinsThirsty.com. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, go to DolphinsThirsty.com.
No, by the way, I'm no longer dehydrated of Dolphins content. This will keep us busy for at least a week.
Hey, first off, on the Finstalk Sports Network, we're never tired or exhausted or whatever on sports content or Dolphins content. We're always running, and no matter what the content is, especially now that the Dolphins have hired Vic Fangio. Brett Legassi, can Fangio fix the run game, passing game, and clock management on offense?
I do. I
think it's a great question. It is on Mike McDaniel, but Fangio does give the expertise and the extra set. Again, I think this is a second head coach on your football team because of the command that he respects. Josh Wingate says Fangio is smart he will build around the talent. He will build around the talent. I think Fangio offers that. I think Fangio will be, hey, Mike, let me throw some sense in here because you just gave this guy a massive deal. 3 years, 4th-year option. This is not a guy that says, yes, sir. I mean, he'll be, he's not somebody who's going to understate or undermine Mike McDaniel, but this is somebody who's definitely going to have a say on how the defense, obviously, and maybe the team as a whole might be run. Fred Warner hurt. Is that just happened right now, Chuck? Thank you for tuning in, man. But no, I don't know.
That's an interesting point right now. Go ahead. Just make a point. About Vic Fangio, this basically, there's two things that can happen. There's the one benefit of them. This basically gives the vote of confidence to Mike McDaniel that you are my head coach to from Stephen Ross. I'm giving you everything you need to succeed. If you can't succeed here, there's nothing. Even though he's not successful, who knows what happens? If things sort of falter on the off, you never know. We're not getting there yet. But to have him there, you have someone you can plug and play. If Mike McDaniel's struggling, Vic Fangio is going to be there. It's that sense of comfort, it's the security blanket. The same way I said that we need a president of football operations to guide on the football side of the ball. This is like you said, a second head coach, a security blanket, a sounding board. Mike McDaniel, after a game, didn't have that sounding board in Josh Boyer to tell him what can you do to improve. You know these two guys are hard-nosed football guys because Mike McDaniel's a school of the game. I guarantee you, by the moment the contract signed this week, they're getting to work. They're going to be in that film room watching last season, and they're going to be analyzing where they need to fill the holes. And trust me, Mike McDaniel will do everything he can to give all the tools that Vic Fangio needs to be successful next year on defense. He will sacrifice because he knows he has what he needs on offense. There's only a few little things we have to do. The running backs, which we can find no problem on the draft, or there's going to be tons of free agents. On the offensive line, we just need to find one or two players because there was success on the offensive line. We know where our weaknesses are on the defense, and he's going to do everything he can to appease Vic Fangio. Because Vic Fangio, with a strong defense, he has led his teams to very, very strong results on that side of the ball.
Finn's in the house. Thank you, my friend.
Come join us, Miss Finns. Come live. There's a link up top. Come join.
I joined her at 12 o'clock Eastern to talk about
what did
the playoffs.
I miss?
No, she just wanted to do a show, talk about the AFC NFC Championship. We talked some Tua, the Tom Brady report. We did some stuff. It was awesome, guys. Go like and subscribe to her channel. She is amazing, a great friend to me and the network. Brett Legassi says, if Greer didn't force Boyer on Mike McDaniel, we would have Fangio in 2022. And why is Crossman still here? Brett Legassi also says, I'm being smart. Offense is still an issue. Talent overall is still an issue. It's fine, and it's true. I get it. There's a lot of things. Look, Vic Fangio is not going to make this team a Super Bowl contender. There's still a lot of things to work on, but this puts us in the right direction, in my opinion. He is going to help the defense. He's going to make a difference on the defense. Mike McDaniel, which Evan has pounded the table for all year, has to learn to adjust. I've been saying he's been a prisoner of the passing game. Okay. Yes, it's very easy to say, oh man, let's just keep passing to Tyreek and Jalen Waddle all day. It's going to work. Yeah, you're going to get some sexy plays, a couple big plays. But after a while, as it did, defenses figured you out. And that's why you didn't adjust to the running game. And talking about the one and only, Miss Finns, she is here.
Oh,
man,
my
this girl
dream come
doesn't
true.
Stop.
This is like a dream. I've never been on a show with Miss Finns. It's like another dream come true.
That's right. One of the hardest workers in the room. Miss Finn in the house.
Oh my gosh. Stop it, guys.
What's up, girl?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Just, I'm on cloud 9 right now. Feeling this Dolphins, Finally, we're doing something. My goodness.
Hey,
we're getting something done,
How many hours did you go?
3 hours.
Damn,
not expected to go 3 hours. I was going to do 1.
I don't know. I was like, Tati goes, she's still on. I went, yeah, all right.
Well, remember the last game of the year? I think which network was it, Bobby? That when we did our final post game show, when we lost the playoff game, there was a show that went on like 5 hours. Like, what was that network? Like, they went on 5 hours, and that was like.
Oh,
that was half of them were asleep.
He's a friend of the show too, and I talked to him earlier. No, that Finn's Tailgate.
Tailgate, yeah.
Oh, the Finn's Tailgate. Yep.
They went like 6 hours. It was like crazy time.
I've done 4.5 hours. That was the draft coverage.
Yeah. I remember the draft. That was fun.
Hey, you know what?
But you were like 3 people. Now we're like 30. We're good.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Y'all can do 24-hour content,
That's
we
right.
could actually.
Hey, from your lips to God's ears, you never know. Yeah. Hey, look, Miss Finns, we talked a lot. We talked about the playoffs. We talked about Tom Brady and Tua, but now the Dolphins have made a big time hire. This is a real deal. They get Vic Fangio, the pie in the sky hire for Mike McDaniel. Your initial reaction here, at least. I'm sure you reacted on your channel. What's your reaction?
Oh, yeah. My fans got it and heard it her first, on the Spin channel. We literally were doing it live. It was awesome. But as far as this, I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's been consistent. He's had a number 2 defense a couple of times while he's been a NFL DC. And honestly, I think that it's at minimum he's got to get this defense back to top 10, if not top 5, for it to be successful, in my opinion. But goes to show, and one thing that you were saying earlier was, it brings more confidence towards your rookie head coach. That okay, now I'm going to give you what you need as far as support with what Vince Pauls was saying too. It's having that soundboard. I agree 1,000%. More than that, though, now we're gonna have a more balanced team, which is what I feel like is what we need. What we're lacking. I mean, look at the Eagles right now. They're playing, and I'm missing the game. I gotta get to that game, but they're a well balanced team between offense and defense. So is the Niners, if you will, minus the quarterback, So that's something that I feel like really is what we were missing, because we're either really good at defense or really good at offense, but never both. So now we get the chance to put both of them together, and it's going to be very exciting. I don't mind running it back if I'm getting a full team versus half a team, which is what we've been getting for 25 years. So that's what I'm excited about.
Absolutely. Let me just remind everybody, you're watching Breaking News Edition on the Finstock Sports Network. The Miami Dolphins have hired their defensive coordinator. That is Vic Fangio, former head coach of the Denver Broncos, former defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. This was the main target, and they get him. 3-year deal, 4th-year option. Huge. We got the one and only Miss Fins in the house. We got Evan, and then, of course, myself.
Didn't I see Cap jump on an audio, or he dropped?
He did come in and he dropped out, but he's always welcome. Cap for Life is in the comments. He says Miss Fans and El Cap broke it live, y'all. And they were running it live. It was awesome. I was on there earlier today. A lot of fun.
Thank you for coming through, for sure.
Always. Let's hear everyone in the comments again. Thank you all. Smash that like and subscribe button. Go like Miss Finn's channel as well.
It's my morning ride. Every morning I'm listening to her. I just can't type and drive at the same time.
Oh yeah, I listen to it driving in all the time. Please don't give me excuses about the defense next season. We got a certified DC. The offense better show up. No excuses. If the defense gets worse, then we know McDaniel. We need McDaniel to be ready.
The defense. There's no way the defense will be worse unless they can't. They just have to fill up the linebacking core. If they get everyone back healthy, it's just the linebacking core that's missing right now. Right?
That's my thing.
To run that 4-3, yeah, you're gonna need a solid linebacking core.
Is Zach Wilson available? Is Zach Thomas available? We need a Zach Thomas. Imagine Zach Thomas just like that. We need a Zach Thomas.
Would you rather have Zach Wilson over Tua?
Oh, throw up. Where's Zach Thomas away? By the way, what do you think this does for Channing Tindall, like in his 4-3? What do you think that does for him? Do you think it will help his development or no?
I don't know. I got to see how he does in a real live game before I start talking. Yeah. But my question would be for this, and I'll start with Miss Fins since she's here, which is awesome, is which linebackers, obviously we need to address that. Would you prefer Miami to address that in free agency? Is there any free agent that you know of that you might be attracted to, or would you rather them do it through the draft?
So I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you guys. I like to compartmentalize. I know you guys are doing draft talk, but this is my thing. I like to enjoy what I'm doing. So right now, it's still the NFL season. I haven't looked at the draft, if I'm going to be honest with you. I know that there are some great guys from what I hear. There should be some really good in that second to 4th, maybe even 5th round from what I hear, and they have some good linebackers. Personally, I'm not going in granular and looking at them just yet, but I will be looking at the draft. I think at this point, if you look at what we have young talent already.
We do.
What I would say is I want at least 1 or maybe 2 veterans. That's why I thought that Robert Quinn would have been a great addition to this team to take that youth and that am I talking about Quinn? Roquan Smith. Sorry. Roquan Smith, who I meant to say. Roquan Smith was going to be great to bring that youth up, you know what I mean, for what we have. But unfortunately, obviously, we didn't get him. At this point, we have young players. I need a veteran, at least 1 veteran, to really drive that linebacker.
Levante Davis, anyone? I go get him in a heartbeat. I like a Levante David or someone like
Not a
that.
bad choice. It's just, again, I need somebody that's gonna be, because right now we drafted Tyndall last year thinking he was gonna be our spy. He was gonna be that middle linebacker that we needed to really assist in our scheme. Unfortunately, he didn't see the field at all. I'm hoping that with this 3-4 type defense that we'll be able to see him out there, see what he has. If we can have another veteran with him, it's going to help his development and kind of speed that up. So that's really what I'm looking for as far as our defense now with Fangio. And obviously, we won't know till we see it week 1. I'm always like, we gotta wait and see. But I'm excited. I think this is good. But I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic, because how many
Yes.
times have the Dolphins given
Yep.
us a splash and then we're like,
That
So
was awesome. You should record that.
You should have heard her earlier as she
Thank-
started her show. She started to go beep, 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 beep. It's like, dude, I was like, whoa. I was like, she got some sound. I was like, no, that's her. I was like, I thought that she had some audio. Cap says
I pulled up the list. I pulled up the list of the top inside linebackers after, if you want to know what they are.
for free agency.
Yeah.
Hit it off.
Deion Jones from Cleveland, Levante David from Tampa. Then you had Devin Bush from Pittsburgh, Anthony Walker from Cleveland. Then then there's Tremont Edmonds, and I don't know, can't pronounce the other guy's name. I'm gonna screw him up. Makovich from Buffalo, but I remember Tremaine. For me, if you can get a Deion Bush or a Tremaine Edmonds or a
Bush
Perryman,
would be like I really like Bush.
yeah, Deion Bush or even Levante David was successful in Tampa when they won the Super Bowl. Tremont Edmonds in Buffalo, that I think he'd have a little revenge there. I wouldn't go after Van Noy or anything like that, but those are the tops right now. I'm just trying to see if anyone he's ever been with, but no, there's not much coming out of Chicago or Denver. So those are the top.
Yes,
though.
she is. Yeah.
I know, I read it.
Oh.
Cap, you're too kind.
Look at Cap.
Suck
you know,
up. He's worse than me. He's worse than me.
I think, it's easy to look for guys who probably played for the Broncos or the Bears. Maybe guys who played under Sean Desai in Seattle might be a good way to look too. Who's very familiar with, who's a disciple of Vic Fangio. If you're trying to find some people who match, but who've also played in that scheme. Let's see here.
I'm just looking at the outside linebackers. Oh, you know who the top is? You're gonna laugh. You know who the top outside linebacker is on free agency? Melvin Ingram.
Oh,
Melvin Ingram of all people. Jeez, we have the top guy. That's pretty funny.
Oh gosh, hey, Ingram played
Riley's
really
top
well.
4.
Evan, can you sing Celine Dion?
God forsake no. I'm the most tone deaf human
Okay.
being.
Next question, Miss Finns, can you sing Celine Dion?
I'd have to warm up the chords, and it'll probably be for about 4
Just
seconds.
just because I'm a Canadian from Quebec doesn't mean I can sing.
Oh, you're Canadian? Listen,
You never know.
You don't hear the A.
You don't know the Rooney Rule of the Finstock Sports Network? They have to have at least one Canadian on the network. They have to have at least one Canadian on the network.
Oh gosh, my little sister Mazzordi is Canadian, and she gets mad when I say that, because she's like, "We don't say it." I'm like, "Okay,
yes, we do.
Like
yes,
every movie," but her family's from Montreal, so I'm like, "Okay, I get it. You guys are like the French people."
Doesn't matter.
from
We still say
Canada,
A.
but
We still
still,
say A.
I hear Canadians all the time in every movie say it. Like that's me and my brother.
By the way, I'm the first to admit we say it. I'm the first to admit we say
Thank
it.
you. Thank you for admitting.
I'm the first
you guys do.
So overreaction, and that's okay. But I've heard top 5. I've heard top 10. Do you guys actually believe that this defense could be a top 5 defense next year?
It's my minimum expectation.
Minimum.
I said that. I said that on my show. Minimum expectation. You can't tell me you're not going to get it up there when your predecessor Flores had it at a top 5 defense. So, yeah, at minimum. And I'm being nice by saying top 10. When this man has had, what is it? He's had two top 2 defenses back-to-back years. He had another one top 3. Another one was top 10. Like, he knows how to do this. So, yeah, he's a veteran. He's not a rookie. So
think about this, and I agree with you, Cap. Cap says we need a minimum top 10 And you know what? I think that is a very realistic possibility, especially the way Vic Fangio has coached his defense in the past. We had a top 10 offense, we had a top 20 defense, 18. Steve had brought up earlier. So if Miami could be a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, that is pretty damn good. There are some pieces, as Brett has said, that we need to address. Obviously, crazy thing is look how many holes that we had on defense and linebackers, the secondary with injuries, that Miami was able to win football games or control games, especially in that last game in the wild card against Buffalo. The defense was really the story to what they were able to do, even though the game was lost and it was up 30 plus points. The defense really had themselves a really good game. And there was times where the defense won us games. Benogany got his first interception against Pittsburgh at one point. There's enough pieces on there.
Noah who?
Stop it.
No, not that. I love Noah,
Stop
so
it.
that's fine.
Don't be
But
disrespectful.
the defense
kidding.
has won every game because
Yeah.
until somebody gives me a game that the offense actually
That's fair.
over
That's fair.
and
I won't
actually
disagree
won,
with
I'm
you.
gonna go with the defense won as those
I
games,
will not
period.
disagree with you. I think the defense gets a lot. I think the offense got a little too much praise this season.
Mhm.
In my opinion, and they got a lot of attention. That's why I always thought it was so funny that every time, and I don't want to make this about this, but every time Miami won a game, it was always offense, Tua. When the Dolphins
man.
lost the game, it was don't say nothing about Tua. It was the defense. It was Boyer. It was this.
We all know
It
that
was
Packers
always-
game was all defense that lost that game. We know that was
Yeah, exactly.
and nothing
So-
to do with fourth-quarter breakdown.
Never at all. But you see, it's like, so I think the defense deserves a lot more credit, and that's my point. Now you add a Vic Fangio to this defense as its lead man who runs it, and then whatever extra pieces they're going to add to fit his defense to what we already have. I agree with Cap. I think top 10 is the minimum. I think top 5 is a great goal, but it definitely has to, because the defense, I think, has less of a need to really improve in health. Offense is really what has to be improved more when you're talking about the health of your QB, the running game situation, the offensive line situation. The offense needs more to improve than the defense. But now you just added a real deal coach to lead your defense. That's just my opinion.
That's why.
What's up, Papa Hog?
It's not a big leash.
That's
It's a veteran.
now we got to get rid of soft players and soft fans.
Agreed.
Or bipolar
Agreed.
fans.
That's bipolar fans.
No. I don't mind reasonable fans. Look, I had a great conversation last night with one of my brothers, and I was like, "Listen, you are reasonable, sensible." Well, now he is, because before he wasn't. But I'm gonna let it go and just say, "Oh, now he is sensible to a fan." But I mean, it's kind of hard not to be sensible, in my opinion, because there's only so much you can be blinded to what you see. But like, it's everything is relative. You can't go too hard. Everybody knows Gesicki's my favorite guy, but I can be critical to the max on this man because, like I am with every player, I just don't think blind faith is what these players need. We need to
Hold
talk
players
about
accountable. Hold your team accountable.
constructively. Exactly. Constructively criticizing our players, because if we can't see what they need to be better at, then how do we know they know what they need to get better at? Because then we have even bigger problems, in my opinion. So,
Speaking of your favorite player, have you been following him on Instagram? Holy crap, him and Durham Smythe are painting South Beach like I've never seen. These guys are part, since the season over, every day they two are
he
part.
loves Miami. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, they might find a way, because him and Durham Smythe are like this. They're like BFFs, those two.
Yeah,
Richard.
I think there is a possibility they could find a way. I mean, they lowered his volume on purpose. What I was told is they did that on purpose to lower his value so they wouldn't have to pay. But the tight end pay in general and usage went down this year in league wide. So even the tag, it's not even what it was last year. It went down. So that's what they're projecting for this new league year to be. It's going to be much less. I think if they can do a reasonable, I wouldn't. It's a weapon. Why would you get rid of a weapon, in my opinion? But
If
they do it, I mean, that's what they
it
say.
makes you happy, I'm okay with them resigning him. Okay.
Oh, thanks. I'm happy too. I refuse to wear that jersey now. I'm gonna hang it unless he's back. Then I'm like, okay, well, I already bought another one, so we're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Richard Sherman, former Seattle Seahawk defensive back, he's when reacting to the hire of Vic Fangio, he had a bunch of shocked faces, and with the talent on that defense, exclamation point, question mark, on Twitter. A lot of people reacting to this. A lot of people are reacting.
It's
Think
young
about that.
talent too.
That's what I'm
Young.
saying.
We have a very young defense. Like,
You know,
just keep him away. Just keep Christian Wilkins away from him because that guy might squash him. That guy might kill Vic Fangio if he gets near him. Oh my God!
Well, from what I'm hearing, people want him out. We want to get 2 firsts for Wilkins.
Not gonna happen. I would never. If you get rid of him and Steeler, oh my God, the world will blow
no.
up in nine.
That's
Well,
that's the strength of your defense is that defensive
right
line.
there.
Yeah,
Those
but is he
trenches
gonna
in the
be a
middle.
scheme fit? I literally just had that conversation on my show. Is he gonna be a scheme fit? I was told no. I don't agree with it, but again, some players said people forget that he was running a 4-3 in Clemson before he came out. So
Yeah.
it's I mean, we'll see. We'll see, but I think it's going to be very interesting what we see coming out of this new year, and then I may get season tickets now.
Hey,
Maybe.
It's
hey.
gonna be a lot of fun.
Right now, this was the right look. We have a whole off season left. Okay, we still got playoffs going on, but with regards to Dolphins, we got a whole off season left.
Playoffs.
You know, well, not for us, but you know, we got Vic
Hey, this-
Fangio. That's a good rate. We'll see how the defense start. You know, how his defensive staff comes together. We'll get more clarity. I know there's a lot of smoke coming up from Davey in regards of what's happening with certain player positions like quarterback and everything else. We're gonna let the whole offseason play out here. Go ahead.
There's one question we didn't ask. Somebody asked before. I think it was also Brett, and we talked about it. I want to get Ms. Finn's comment. What do you think the holdback is? Because we figured out who everyone on the offense is staying. The other defensive players, maybe Vic Fangio will decide on. What's the story with Danny Crossman? Why do you think he's still there? Do you think that maybe there's another coach out there that he's waiting for on another that he just hasn't found yet, and he just doesn't want to let him go? Because that's the other weak spot. The biggest weak spot compared to offense defense was our special teams this year. So why do you think that's a coach that no one's touching it? Why do you think it's still quiet on that front?
I think they maybe don't want to flourish themselves. I think that at this point, and I know special teams, they didn't really do much, but if we're being honest, when it comes to takeaways or making plays, like even the defense didn't really do as much. Overall, I think it's just they didn't really have a set. I don't want to say ideal as to what to do. Special teams, they could have obviously done better. Main guy was Sanders, missing those kicks.
I love Jason Sanders.
That's more. Me too. I'm keeping him. I'm keeping him, in my opinion. But they should keep him, in my opinion. But as far as special teams, I think they don't want to flourish it and kind of jump the gun too early. They might want to see what plays out. Maybe they have somebody in mind that is still playing, in the in the championships. Maybe after today we might hear some rumblings, but I just don't think they want to flourish themselves and kind of jump the gun in case they don't find the right fit. And maybe what we needed was a Vic Fangio that can also help coach the coaching staff too.
Yeah.
You guys forget the coaches also need coaching as well. So maybe they see something in him that we can possibly get out of Danny, but maybe it takes a veteran probably like Fangio that will be able to assist him in that. At least it's just one.
Let me just update right now. Josh Johnson in at quarterback for the 49ers. Brock Purdy questionable to return with an elbow injury.
No.
Oh God.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's what I'm
saying.
And
Warner went out at the beginning of the game, but I don't know if he's back in yet.
Yeah, the Eagles are leading right now. There's 4 minutes, 12 seconds, 7-0.
This game's over.
7-0.
And this guy just got crushed. I'm watching it on my left side. This guy just got crushed, Josh. They might have to put Christian McCaffrey in Wildcat at this point.
What did they do? What did they do in this man? How did he get injured?
Elbow injury, it looks like, from what I've read.
But they're killing the offensive line has been awful today. I'm watching. These quarterbacks are getting
I
crushed.
know it. Conventional wisdom told me to take the Eagles.
Nine.
But I
I
still
know.
took the Niners.
Number
Just
one
'cause
defense. I
the
picked the Niners.
narrative. The narrative. That's why I
I
did.
know. I know.
But
But let me just say, let me see. Cap for Life. Let me just read up these before we're up on the hour. I know Miss Finns has been running wild on streaming today, and keep it down
She's
here
the
to an hour, about
best.
5 minutes. One of the yes, definitely. Cap for Life. We're not that young anymore. Cater is a baby. Everyone else has been here for 4 years now. No more babies here in Miami. Papa Hog responds, "Yep, no more babies. Got to take it to the next level." I understand that, and but they're still young players, meaning they still have the chance to grow. And I think Vic Fangio is going to bring that out in them. And like I said earlier, that Miss Finns just brought up now about coaching the coaches. You adding Vic Fangio as your defensive coordinator, giving him that type of money, giving him that type of contract, he is now, I think, really a second head coach on this football team. That's not to undermine Mike McDaniel, but to say, hey, the respect he commands from not only the players and the organization, what he will command from the other coaches. He will be calling people out. He will have a say on how it goes down. I truly believe that. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think McDaniel is going to prosper from that. That's what most players, what
It was
most
his choice.
young coaches, exactly. Somebody just brought up a great point. What Ray Phillips did for Sean McVay is what he could do for Mike McDaniel. So are you rubbing your, what are you doing? You rubbing your chest?
I said that 30 seconds into the show. You're saying they brought it up. You have short-term memory, you.
I do. I do. I'm a little fried up here somewhere. It's part of the Puerto Rican thing in it too. But anyway, that's hearsay. That's hearsay. But hey, listen, this is huge. We're coming up on the hour, guys. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Miss Finns, any final words before you could call it a day and kind of chill out for a little bit?
oh man. Well, first of all, if you guys are not already subscribed, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. If you're not sharing this content over here at the Finns Talk Network, Sports Talk Network, my bad.
Finns
The
Talk-
Finns Talk. Okay, I don't even know where I'm at.
Just say
What show
FTSN.
is
Just say
this?
FTSN. Just say
What show is
FTSN.
this? No, I'm just
FTSN.
kidding. Finstock Sports Network. Finstock Sports Network, guys. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, share on all social media. These guys put in so much work. They put so much time into this. And it's not just Dolphins content, guys. You get wrestling, you get basketball, you get baseball, you get all football. It's phenomenal. You're getting amazing content over here. And they have so many great contributors now. This is a full-fledged, watch out, ESPN. Okay, because this is a full-fledged sports network, and they're doing bigger and better things, and we got to get them to 1,000. So please, I try to do my part this morning. We got you an extra 10, but we need you guys to go ahead and continue by sharing, liking, and subscribing over here to the Finstock Sports Network. Thank you very much.
I appreciate
and as
you,
far as
sis.
for me,
Thank you.
honestly, I think this is gonna be a great. Well, now this game is gonna, but I still think tonight's game is gonna be great. I'm looking for the battle between the Bengals and the Chiefs. I'm taking 35-33, like nail biter. I'm taking the Bengals. I just feel like they're a complete team. And Mahomes tried with 2 legs to beat them. He's down to 1 leg. I don't know if he's gonna beat him. And I also heard that Kelsey might be in game questionable. The start of the game.
He's playing, but he's questionable right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what that's all about. This should be a good game, regardless of the injuries. But to me, guys, thank you so much, Bobby, for coming in this afternoon. Much needed. I appreciate you
Always,
so
my friend.
much. Thank you guys for having me over here. I really do appreciate both of you. I'm always listening. I can't always comment because typically I'm either working or I'm doing something else, life. But I do listen to you guys, and your different shows is phenomenal. So thank you for adding to this fan base, because listen, we need more great content creators like you guys, and I appreciate every bit that you guys
appreciate
do.
you, my
Thank
friend.
Thank you so much for having me. And guys, subscribe.
You got it.
Have a great day, guys. Fins up.
You too. Fins up, Miss Fins. Evan, any final words?
You like to say we're a quarterback away. We like to say all these things for me. What was my number one bane of existence? We have a head coach who wears a $15,000 watch. We were a Timex watch away. We were a guy who knows how to tell time, who wears a watch in the 1980s. We're going to have someone who can tell time, who is a hard-nosed football coach, a veteran who's going to – and you want to know what? Mike McDaniel, this is the best hire, the best decision he's made since he's become the head coach, because he realized where his weakness was, and he tried to do it last year when he thought he needed. He didn't give up. He told Stephen Ross, this is what we'll do whatever it takes to sign this guy. This guy is going to take us very, very far. I know with this guy working together on both sides of the ball, we can give you that Super Bowl you want. And now I'm telling you, these are the expectations next year. This team, if they get the players that they need, they have they have a superstar coaching staff right now. They have an offensive genius. They have a great core around him, and they have a leader on the defensive side of the ball. And as we know, defenses win championships. The defenses that are playing today right now are strong defenses that are great. Timex, see, gotta love it. I always got the great content there, guys. I honestly, for me, I had a rough weekend. I had a bunch of little personal things to deal with. You want to know what? The smile on my face right now to know that Vic Fangio is our coach, and the fact that Stephen Ross, who's has his issues as an owner, but he went to get his guy, and he put out the money. He did what he needed to do. There's no cap on hiring great guys, and you have a second head coach, as you said. This could not be better. This is a phenomenal hire. There's not going to be a better hire the rest of the offseason on any coaching staff, because he could have chosen the Carolina Panthers, who have J.C. Horn and Brett Burns, who already had a top defense. He knows what he has in Miami. He knows the capability, and he chose this defense and this structure where he knows he has the best chance to win. But he's not a dummy. Vic Fangio wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to win, and he thinks this team gives him the best chance to win. And that's the best part of it.
And the most money. All right, guys. Thank you.
Money doesn't win. So what?
It's nice to have it. You got paid the most.
And mommy will get and his mom's there. Come on. You always go home to mama. Got to go home to mama.
That's right. Hey, guys, that's Evan Poster. I'm Bobby Finstock. Thank you all for tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button. Go to Miss Fins if you haven't. If you haven't already, you're crazy. But go to Miss Fins. Smash her like and subscribe button. Go check out her show from this morning. We appreciate you guys. As always, Fins up, everyone.
Fins up, guys.